up next is Viral Desai from BAPS North America. BAPS Swaminarayan Sanstha is a spiritual, volunteer-driven fellowship dedicated to improving the society through individual growth by fostering the Hindu values of faith, service and global harmony. Thank you so much, Viral, for joining us on the telecast. Of course, my first question about what do you make of these grand celebrations that are taking place at Ram Mandir in Ayodhya? The consecration ceremony is going to happen in just a couple of days from now. What is its impact for Hindus across the globe?
Well, when we talk about crucial, I think, in the Ram Mandir, one word comes to my mind, and it's Shraddha, faith. And it's the prayers, the pratna, the penance, or the tap that many devotees across the globe have gone through for the last hundreds of years, and now Bhagwan has answered. And so that the Ram Mandir is testament of faith. I mean, I also say that every religious person should be able to worship or pray to their Bhagwan or deities in a place that they feel the most importance to. And Ayodhya is that place, and Ayodhya is of course the Ram Janmabhoomi of Ram Janmabhoomi, and it's the birthplace of Ram Bhagwan. And so ideally, that just fits perfectly to have the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya. And this place is not only historical, but it's spiritual. And what better place to have the Ram Mandir than Ayodhya?
Viral, now, everybody across the globe, especially the Hindu community, the devout, have had a glimpse of these visuals that are pouring in from Ayodhya right from the time that it was being constructed, and now it is nearing completion. The pictures of the deity, the Ram Lala idol, have also been put out on social media. How do you feel about it now that you have taken a look at it?
Well, it's that smile, and in every person that you see, even here, when you talk to anybody, it's the energy, the eyes, the joy that everyone feels. And, it's a global celebration. And so something that comes in my mind is, when Ram Bhagwan returned from exile, imagine the environment then. Imagine the joy, imagine the festivities that was going on. And I think similarly, this is what I feel when I see these pictures, and it's amazing to see the festive mood, the colors, the flowers. And something else that when I was reading the stories, the history of making the mandir, the soil, about 2,500 region soils have been put in the foundations. The holy waters of India have also been put into the foundation. Each brick that has been laid has inscribed with the word Sri Ram. And that also reminds me of in 1989, Pramukh Swami Maharaj performed the first pujan of the first Sri Ram Shila in 1989. So, this goes back, and obviously seeing these pictures kind of reconnects you and kind of puts you into that place of where the Ram Mandir is going to happen. And the carvings that are going to be inside the pillars that depicting Ramayana, the epic stories of Ram Bhagwan. And the overall structure, as we've seen in the pictures, the pink stone and the highlights of the ancient structure of the mandirs. And so I think it's amazing, and it's just exciting to see the festivities happening, but also see it in the pictures is one thing, but also learning the history at the same time has been amazing.
Also the kind of interest and excitement that people have, not just in India, but in New Jersey and in America and the rest of the world, about Ram Mandir amongst the Hindu community, particularly in North America. If you could tell us, our viewers, about it.
Well, as I mentioned, this is a global excitement, a global joy that's happening. And North America is definitely one of the places that you still see the same excitement. I was talking to my uncle just the other couple of weeks ago, And I was thinking, hey, have you been to the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya? And his eyes just lit up, and he was so excited to tell me that, hey, many years ago I did go to Ayodhya. I did see it took me a while. The roads were really difficult to get to, and then when he finally get for darshan for Ram Bhagwan's murti there, he saw the small tent or the housing where Ram Bhagwan is. But now that he knows this Ram Mandir is coming, he's excited. He's like, oh, finally we have a huge mandir that Ram Bhagwan can finally reside in. And so that joy that I see in my uncle, I see it in every other individual that I talk to about or that we mention. And that's one thing, but the youth. It's one thing that the adults have may have been in India and they've traveled here to North America, but the youth are taking part in dramas, performing the epic stories of Ramayana, and getting connected into this celebration and the Ram Mandir inauguration. And just the other day, I had a friend from Georgia was driving down the freeway. There's a billboard that says, inviting people to join the Ram Bhagwan inauguration. That was in Georgia and then New Jersey. And then New York Times Square, Manhattan in the central of the busy millions of visitors throughout the day. You have this huge banner that's flying across that talks about the Ram Mandir inauguration coming up. And so that excitement is from one end to North America to the other end, north, south, west, east. You see it. And then the people are getting in their cars and getting excited, waving flags, and that joy is throughout North America from the young to the old. And so it's exciting to see this happen, even here in North America, even though we are thousands of miles away from Ayodhya.
Now, Viral, you represent the BAPS Swaminarayan temple in North America, which is the largest in the world. If you could tell us more about the temple, when was its foundation laid, how long did it take to build it, and when was it inaugurated?
So as you mentioned, yes, the BAPS Swaminarayan Akshardham was just recently inaugurated in October of 2023 by His Holiness Mahant Swami Maharaj, which is our spiritual guru currently. But not only him, but many spiritual leaders took part in this inauguration that came from all over the world. And when we talk about the largest, I think that's just a description. And I think the largest has nothing to do with it, but it's the values. It's the invitation of everyone to be able to come visit the mandir and then see the intricate carvings. And every stone says a story about seva and bhakti, the selfless service, the devotion that everyone has put together. And you may have read stories of 12,500 volunteers from different age groups have come and spent time to build the mandir. And so any visitor that visits the mandir, they are welcome with open arms, with a huge 49 feet murti of Nilkantvarni, welcoming each visitors with open arms. They cross body of a water, what we call Brahmakund, which has waters from all around the world, including India. So that representation of the ancient history of India is also present here at the BAPS Swaminarayan Akshardham. And then as you walk closer to the mandir, you'll see universal values from Hinduism, our Hindu scriptures, but also universal values from leaders of our world, of the era, such as Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King. And so those universal values of harmony, unity, inclusion is also depicted within their visits of BAPS Swaminarayan Akshardham. So as I mentioned, the size is one thing, but that has, I think, the values, the teaching, the message that individuals take when they visit the BAPS Swaminarayan Akshardham is far much more grand than the numbers of 185 acres, 10,000 statues, and then the shrines. As you walk inside the mandir, there's 12 different shrines inside the mandir. People are able to offer prayers to Bhagwan Swaminarayan, Bhagwan Shri Tripati Balaji, Bhagwan Shiv and Parvati Ji, Bhagwan Shri Ram and Sita Ji, Hanumanji, Bhagwan Shri Krishna and Radha Ji. And speaking of Ram Bhagwan inside the mandir, during the inauguration, the Swami Govindev Giri Ji Maharaj was also present during the Pratishta of the Sri Ram Bhagwan Murti inside the Akshardham. So you see that this is a place not just for Hindus, but it's a place that everyone in North America, around the world, comes and experiences ancient culture, ancient architecture here in North America. So it has been amazing to have this place of worship, and then it's been amazing to see and share our culture within the community, but also be proud of what we have here in North America.
How does the BAPS temple promote the teachings of Hinduism through its daily activities?
That's a great question. And I think, it's like, besides just putting a plaque up and putting the message up and people reading it, I think it goes far more in any of the BAPS mandirs that you visit here in North America. And I think it goes back from 1970s. Pramukh Swami Maharaj first came to North America. Since then, that vision, and today Mahant Swami Maharaj's vision carries on through these mandirs to share the spirituality, but our culture, our traditions, and our timeless values, as you mentioned. And so the mandirs, people continue to visit, but they get to experience the true architecture of ancient culture of our history of our India, but also participate in rituals like Arti, Abhishek, Thal. And part by participating, they're taking in our values and learning about our rituals. And that's what brings the harmony. By teaching our culture away from home and learning about each other is what basically counts in as the inclusiveness. And so the mandirs itself, but there's also spiritual discourses. Throughout the year, throughout the weekend, every weekend, people can participate in discourses to learn about our Hindu values. Recently, we had a series on YouTube actually set up as Timeless Hindu Wisdom. And it's small, bite-sized learnings and teachings that our children and our youth can learn and learn these ancient scriptures from these discourses, but also participate by engaging in classes to practice these and learn these moral stories of our Hindu culture and our history. And the festivals, of course, that is one great way that people also participate and love. And of course, Diwali is obviously the biggest grand festivals. And then at the mandirs, you'll see fireworks. You'll see people come together, offer food. Families will have a time to rejoice. Shivratri, Janmashtami. So all of these celebrations will be grandly put together to continue to share with our culture, with other Hindus, but also the American community. And then, of course, promoting the meditations and the yogas. So there's many, many avenues that these activities carry on throughout these mandirs. And I think that was Pramukh Swami Maharaj's vision in 1970s, and 50 years later today, that continues to strive and continues to grow and continues to bring the harmony within the community.
How does the temple bring the Hindu community together in North America?
Yeah, so it's actually working together. It's that unity. Mahant Swami Maharaj uses a key word, says samp, which equals out to unity. It's working together. It's helping each other, not just in times of celebration, but also in times of needs. So when there's a disaster, the community not only helps the Indian community, the Hindu community, but the overall community within the area to house as shelters during disasters. For example, in Houston, when we had this hurricane flood, the people were out of homes. They were not able to get electricity, but the mandirs opened their doors. They were able to come and participate in staying as a shelter, but also be able to get warm food during those times. So that's one way of giving back to the community, but also teaching others to be better citizens of the community. And so since that 1970s, the Hindu festivals have been celebrated in the mandirs, but also has kept its doors open and open for just the community, not just for the Hindu community, but for everyone. And so that is the key thing, is the unity, the harmony, the love, and the peace and the shanti that everybody feels when they do visit the mandir. And so I think that's the key thing, is just working with each other and helping each other.
How do you feel the Ram temple in Ayodhya can bring Hindus across the globe come closer?
Well, I think we're already close together. As we said, there's a global celebration. There's billions of Hindus, as we know, around the world, and they're all connected. and they're connected by their traditions, their values, their peace, their nonviolence, the ahimsa. They're connected because this Ayodhya place is a place of pilgrimage. And as a pilgrimage, as a sacred site, sacred city, a holy city, the Ram Mandir only connects us even further. And as I mentioned, my uncle, what he had said, and many years ago when he went to the Ram Mandir and to do darshan of Ram Bhagwan, it was a smaller house, smaller place where the Ram Mandir, Ram Bhagwan's murti was inside. And now to have this, huge mandir, architecturally dating back thousands of years, in the birthplace of Ram Bhagwan, I think it brings us together, but also the city. I think what I've seen in the pictures and read this, the reshaping of the streets, the openness, the access to individuals to be able to access Ayodhya, but also the Ram Mandir will kind of help each other come together and probably make a journey together to visit the Ram Mandir for darshan, to worship, and to obviously to pray.
Do you also look forward to visiting the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya in the coming times? And are there any plans that you and the Hindu community that you are attached with are planning to do the same?
Well, of course. I mean, that is something that is definitely on top of my list. And in the past, as I mentioned, the roads were tough, a little bit hard to get to. And now that you hear these roads have been opened up, and the excitement of this mandir being there, and of course in our digital world, you feel even more connected with continuously getting fed with the information and the mandir pictures, as you mentioned, the photos, and of course it is one of probably the most beautiful religious sites for Hindus to visit, but for everyone to kind of take part in. And I think it becomes a place of pilgrimage. And of course, I think this, and my next visit, hopefully, is my plan to visit Ayodhya and do darshan at the Ram Mandir and Ram Bhagwan's.
What is your message and the message of the BAPS temple ahead of the historic Pran Pratishtha ceremony?
Well, this history of BAPS, the Gurus Yogi Ji Maharaj, Pramukh Swami Maharaj, Mahant Swami Maharaj today have been connected since the 1950s and 60s to even today in the 2000s and 2024 in participating in the steps of this Ram Mandir. But I think the message here is about a little bit more than Shraddha. It's about selfless service. It's about culture or Sanskriti. And of course, Ram Bhagwan's kingdom was a place of moral and satya or honesty. And it's about teaching our future generation and receiving these blessings and imbibing these things within their lives. And so the universal message, again, comes down to the unity, harmony, faith, and peace. And it's spreading the Sanatana Dharma and its value, not just for today, for generations to come. And so I think the prayers of thousands of individuals have been answered by Bhagwan. And so this Pran Pratishtha is not only going to be attended in person from BAPS Swamis, but also throughout the global centers of BAPS Mandirs. There will be celebrations happening, participating in the Pran Pratishtha at the Mandir, having many individuals come from across the cities, but across the community to participate in the Pran Pratishtha. But also, Mahant Swami Maharaj has also encouraged everyone to celebrate inside their homes. So as we mentioned, Diwali, this is a feeling of Diwali. This is feeling of celebration. And so that is what the message is participating in the Pran Pratishtha, but also carrying on our Sanatana Dharma and the values of harmony, faith, and peace.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.